Black Bears and your Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Let's get ready to meet today's starting lineups, beginning with our visitors from Maine. Leading things off in left field for the Black Bears, number 14, Nick White. White, left field. Batting second for the Black Bears, third baseman, number 6, Jake Marquez. Marquez, third base. Batting third for Maine, first baseman, number 28, Jeremiah Jenkins. Jenkins, first base. The cleanup hitter tonight is the designated hitter, number 31, Connor Goodman. Goodman, the DH. Batting fifth for the Black Bears, right fielder, number 1, Zach Martin. Martin, right field. Batting sixth and behind the dish at catcher, number 44, Dean O'Neill. O'Neill, the catcher. Batting seventh and second base, number 2, Miles Sargent. Sargent, second base. Batting eighth for the Black Bears, shortstop, number 40, Jonathan Gonzalez. Gonzalez, shortstop. Rounding out the batting order for Maine, center fielder, number 4, Colin Plant. Plant, center field. Starting pitcher tonight for Maine, number 7, right-hander, Gianni Gambardella. Gambardella, starting pitcher for Maine. Head coach is Nick Durbin. Now the starting lineups for your Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Set to lead things off, shortstop, number 17, Jaime Villafane. Villafane, shortstop. Batting second for the Cats, center fielder, number 19, Sergio Rivera. Rivera, center field. Batting third for the Cats, left fielder, number 34, Garrett Chun. Chun in left field. The cleanup hitter tonight, designated hitter number 21, Jose Gonzalez. Batting fifth tonight, first baseman number 16, Manny Sufrain. Sufrain, first base. Batting sixth in the order, the catcher tonight, number 33, George Rodriguez. Rodriguez, the catcher. Batting seventh for the Cats, third baseman number 36, Ramses Cordova. Cordova, third base. Batting eighth in right field, number 14, Jason Hodges. Hodges in right field. Rounding out the batting order for the Cats, second baseman, number 2, Colton Olison. Olison, second base. Starting pitcher tonight for the Cats, number 31, right-hander, Tanner Bocabello. Tanner Bocabello, your starting pitcher for the Wildcats. Head coach is Johnny Hernandez. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise, and gentlemen, remove your caps. Veterans, you may cover as we honor this great nation with the playing of our national anthem.
Well, live from Jackie Robinson Ballpark in downtown Daytona Beach, Florida, it's time for the first of a 3-game set between the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats and the reigning America East champions, the Maine Black Bears. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Chirillo. Happy to have your company. Bryce Wojnowski will join us shortly. The Maine Black Bears come in at 1-8 on the season. Their lone win, a victory over Fordham over in DeLand at the Stetson multi-team event. The Wildcats have had a rough go of it after a hot start, as they have lost their last 5 in a row, including 3 to Northwestern here last weekend. I now bring in Bryce Wojnowski. Bryce, this is an important series for the Wildcats, their final non-conference series before they hit the road to start SWAC play next week against a team kind of like Stonehill to open the season, a team that we should maybe take 2 out of 3 here, but you never know.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. It's been a disappointing week in a lot of ways for Bethune-Cookman. You go all the way back to the Florida midweek game where, sure, the score looks lopsided at 9-2, but there was a late error and a lot of little things that Coach Hernandez and BCU overall can look to and say, we felt like we were in that game. That continued into the Northwestern series. You led in the first 2 games. Bullpen couldn't hold on to the lead. In the final game Saturday night of the doubleheader, you felt like you were in that game as well, had chances at the line to tie it towards the end. And then even Tuesday night, you have the winning run at the plate, bases loaded, nobody out in the 8th inning, and 3 strikeouts to end that one, and really any real threat for Bethune-Cookman there. So you've been within reach of games that you feel like you should win with teams that are legit, that aren't anything to sneeze at. Luckily for the Wildcats, it should get a little lighter once we get into conference play, but there is a much-needed momentum swing here this weekend.
We talked to Coach Johnny Hernandez before the game today, and the main thing that he harped on was this team needs to learn how to win. They haven't really done that yet, as Nick White, the left fielder for the Black Bears, steps in to face Tanner Bocabello, the junior starter for the Wildcats. And the preseason SWAC Pitcher of the Year by Perfect Game begins with a strike, and we are underway. White hits this one high in the air to center field. Going back, Rivera camps under it near the warning track and makes the catch. There's one away. The rest of the Maine offense looks like this. Marquez, the third baseman, bats second. Jenkins, the first baseman, bats third. Connor Goodman, the designated hitter, bats fourth. Zach Martin, the right fielder, bats fifth. Dean O'Neill, the catcher, bats sixth. Morrows Sargent, the second baseman, bats seventh. Jonathan Gonzalez, the shortstop, bats eighth. Colin Plant, the center fielder, bats ninth. And when the Black Bears take the field in the bottom of the inning, their right-hand pitcher will be Gianni Gambardella. Bocabello comes high and inside to Jake Marquez, the third baseman. Marquez on the year, the best hitter by average on this Maine team at a .312. 9 runs on 10 hits. Tied for a team high 3 homers and 10 RBIs. He lays a bunt down. Bocabello chases it over and fires to first in time, 2 away.
And it's important to have a guy like Tanner Bocabello on the mound for these Friday nights, a guy who can set the table, much like we saw Nolan Santos do so last year. He's been solid. He's had some blips here and there to start the season against notably some tough competition at the likes of Florida Gulf Coast. But quick innings to start this is exactly what the Wildcats need to get that momentum heading into the weekend.
Here's the other pop in the lineup. The first baseman, Jeremiah Jenkins, tied for the team lead in home runs with 3. He's also batting .273, 5 runs on 9 hits, 2 doubles, and 6 RBI. With 2 out in the top of the first, and this one is ripped foul a long way. That might even make the bridge over Orange Avenue. It's the back end of bike week here in Daytona Beach, so if you hear some rumbling from the road, that is why. Jenkins fouls this one off, and it's quickly 0-2.
As we hear a bike go behind us right now, will be so long, good riddance to all the bikers here in Daytona. Today, they are absolutely making the most of their final couple days here. It has been brutal.
Upstairs trying to get a chase goes Bocabello, 1-2. This is the start of a long week here at the CatEye Network. We'll get more into why that is as we go along. Breaking ball doesn't catch the outside corner. Our umpires today, Manuel Fleitas behind the plate, Terrell Poole at first base, Robert Gill at third. And from down 0-2, Jenkins has worked his way back to a 2-2 count. Bocabello misses his spot, and the count runs full.
We've seen that breaking ball work a lot for Bocabello early in the season. Tries to get that one at the top corner of the zone, just a little high there.
Nobody on and 2 out, top of the first. Bocabello deals and blows the fastball right by Jenkins for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Black Bears, and after a half an inning of play, it's Maine nothing. The Wildcats coming to bat. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman University Baseball on the CatEye Network. 2, the bottom of the first, we go in a scoreless game here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. First of a 3-game set this weekend between the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats and the Maine Black Bears. On the hill today for the Black Bears, Gianni Giambardella, the sophomore from West Haven, Connecticut, and the reigning America All-East first team and freshman All-American will have the chance to face the Wildcat batting order today that looks like this. Jamie Villafane bats first and plays shortstop. Sergio Rivera in center field batting second. Garrett Chun in left batting third. Jose Gonzalez, the designated hitter, batting fourth. At first base, Manny Sufrain, he bats fifth. Jorge Rodriguez, the catcher, bats sixth. Ramses Cordova at third base, batting seventh. Jason Hodges is in right field batting eighth, and Colton Olison, as always, anchors the bottom of the order at second base. Villafane leads off. He's batting .444, has started 5 of 9 games he's appeared in of the 12 the Wildcats have played so far. And he takes a first pitch strike outside corner 0-1. Villafane, in 18 plate appearances, he's got 7 runs on 8 hits with 1 double and 2 ribbies. And he's slugging at even .500. Takes another one outside, and it's quickly 0-2. The other thing, Bryce, that Coach told us when we were talking to him this afternoon was he changed up the lineup a little bit today. Breaking ball, chopped toward third. Marquez deep in the hole, fires across, and out by half a step is Villafane.
And you know, early in the season, that's a lot of ways to fire guys up, figure out what mix works, what doesn't. For Coach Hernandez, another thing he told us pregame was he'd like to see the guys jump into these games a little quicker. You know, we talk about getting to the bullpen so much, getting the starter out of the game. And we saw it at FIU. It was too little too late. The Wildcats offense finally just started to click in about the 7th, 8th inning, and it was too far gone at that point. They have their chances. They need to make the most of them.
Breaking ball drops in. First pitch strike to Sergio Rivera. Rivera batting .295. One of a couple players in this lineup to start every game this season for the Cats. 10 runs on 13 hits. 4 doubles, a triple, and 4 RBIs. And the count is 1-1. And still yet to really make an impact on this team, some of the newcomers like Rivera, as he puts this one right back up the middle, coming on, sliding, and making the catch is Colin Plant, as he robs a base hit from Rivera, and there's 2 away.
Jackie Robinson Ballpark is one of those places that really gives these outfielders a chance to shine, especially at the collegiate level when they're not used to seeing such wide open spaces. We've seen it a lot here early in the season, a lot of nice plays.
Here is someone who has been lighting up the charts offensively. Garrett Chun batting .327, 5 runs on 16 hits. He chops this one weakly toward third. That will roll foul, and it's 0-1. 3 doubles, a triple, and 14 RBIs. That leads the team. It always seems when Chun is up in a big spot, he comes through, and he's carried that momentum from the end of last season.
Yeah, and even in the 3-game sweep at the hands of Northwestern last week, still named SWAC Hitter of the Week for the last week. Again, he was another guy really solid. The bats really weren't the issue last weekend at Northwestern, but he did post 5 RBIs, 5 hits, just really solid week for him all around. He's started hot, and it's been really important for these Wildcats to have that kind of veteran leadership at the plate.
Giambardella trying to get out of the first inning early. That one misses outside, 1-1. Lots of action around the SWAC this weekend, as it's the final weekend of non-conference action for Southwestern Athletic Conference teams. Of course, a lot of conferences started their conference play this weekend. The ACC, the Big 12. I was watching BYU and West Virginia this afternoon. Here's the 1-1. It's low and 2-1. Chun trying to keep the inning alive here with 2 down in the first, and he fouls one straight back. Reached down to grab it, and it's 2-2. The Maine defense looks like this. White, Plant, and Martin in the outfield left to right. Marquez, Gonzalez, Sargent, and Jenkins on the infield left to right. The battery, O'Neill and Giambardella. O'Neill tried to frame that one up, but the umpire not having it, count runs full. Big cut and miss on a fastball down and in. So the Wildcat first equals the Maine first. Strikeout, ground out, fly out. And at the end of one, no score here on the CatEye Network. To the second inning we go. No score here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Bethune-Cookman Wildcats and Maine Black Bears, first of a three-game weekend series. Connor Goodman leads off from the DH spot. The senior bats 192 with a run on 5 hits and 1 RBI. First pitch, a strike from Bocabello. And Tanner deals in on the hands, popped straight up on the first base line. All the way over from his catcher's spot, Rodriguez makes the catch. And there's one away.
That's not as easy of a play as, a pop-up normally would be. A long run for Rodriguez. And a quick first out.
Zach Martin, the right fielder, comes up now. He'll face a Bethune-Cookman defense that looks like this. It's Chun, Rivera, and Hodges in the outfield left to right. Cordova, Villafane, Olison, and Sufrain on the infield left to right. The battery, Rodriguez behind the plate, Bocabello on the mound. First pitch, over rotation from Tanner Bocabello, 1-0. Zach Martin on the young season batting .286. Inside corner, too far inside, 2-0. 3 runs on 8 hits, 2 doubles, and 5 RBIs. As the lefty crowds the box and faces a 2-0 count for Bocabello. That one in there for a strike. And both of these pitchers early just pounding those fastballs, not really going much to the breaking stuff.
We've seen a little bit from Bocabello, but hasn't quite hit his spots with it yet. Hasn't broke as much as I think we're used to seeing with that big curve.
That one downstairs. Rodriguez tried to frame it, but no dice from umpire Manuel Fleitas. And the 3-1. Hit high in the air to left, not deep. Moving over, Chun stretches out his left hand and makes the catch, 2 away.
And defense figures to be a strength of this Wildcats team in a lot of ways. I think it's very interesting. You may have heard it a bit over the last at-bat here, but watching new coach for this year, Derek Cartaya, over in the dugout, just calling out positioning for his infielders in particular. It's really interesting to see the way he commands the dugout, especially on the defensive side of the ball. He's really been a great add for this Wildcats team on the coaching staff. And
with the pitching staff this year, not as strikeout focused as in years past. A lot of pitch to contact guys on this roster, a lot of balls in play. I remember the opening weekend versus Stonehill. Games went pretty quickly because every ball was in play. That one down low, count 1-1. This to Dean O'Neill, the catcher, the sophomore. A run on 3 hits, 1 homer, and 2 RBIs. He's batting 167. Breaking ball, that time a slider out of the reach of O'Neill's bat, and it's 1-2. And Bocabello trying to get through 6 quick outs here. Breaking ball, Chop back towards second base. Olison, quick throw to first in time. 1, 2, 3. Go the Black Bears. We go to the bottom of the second. Wildcats looking for some offense. No score here from the Jack on the CatEye Network. Jose Gonzalez leads things off for the Wildcats here in the bottom of the second. No score, no hits, nobody on base for either team yet in this one. As Gambardella gets ready to go righty to righty. Check swing, but the ball crosses the plate anyway, 0-1. Gonzalez, a .256 hitter, 5 runs on 11 hits, a double, a homer, and 7 RBIs. We talked about how this team defensively is not like last year, but how they are like last year is in offensive side of the ball. Going to do a lot with the double, a lot with the bunt single and bloop single. Check swing, did he go? Yes, and the count 1-2. Not a lot of home run power, especially with the big home run hitter, Jorge Gonzalez-Febo, out of the lineup this evening. A 1-2. Breaking ball, chop foul towards the main dugout, and it'll hit the net.
And very much again this year, home runs will be a nice addition, but never really anything this team is going to be able to consistently rely on. Maybe you could argue there's more pop and some bats this year, but probably closer to an equal trade-off with guys like Robert Moya departing in the offseason and a handful of others. Kind of replace that with guys like Gonzalez-Febo.
We saw Moya a couple weeks ago at FGCU. 1-2. Ground ball, third base side foul. Almost stings the legs of Coach Hernandez. In the third base coaching box this year, that's a change from last year.
And one that I think he looked forward to a lot of the offseason with the departure of Jose Carballo to the SEC. He's had a lot of fun with it. I think he's done well.
Strike 3 got him looking as Gonzalez goes down. That's 2 straight Ks across the inning break for Gambardella,
number 16, Manny Sufrain,
who came into tonight with an 8.44 ERA, 0-3 on the season. 14 strikeouts, 9 walks, and an opponent batting average of .333. Now here's Manny Sufrain. Takes a pitch outside. The lefty is batting .231 to start the year, 10 runs on 6 hits. 2 doubles and 4 RBI. He's one of those guys where if he gets a hold of one, it can go a million miles. Doesn't catch up to that fastball, and it's 1-1.
Have not seen it yet from Sufrain. Not quite seen the pop in that bat. He's gotten some to the wall, but haven't quite crossed it yet.
Watches a fastball down the middle for strike 2. I remember in the SWAC tournament, he took one deep over the short right field fence and Georgia Tech. That one high up by the neck area of Sufrain, 2-2, and Gambardella continues just powering that fastball in. He's getting swings and misses with it.
Good discipline from Sufrain, leading walks getter on the team for a reason.
Reaches down for that one, pokes it into left field, moving over. White makes the play, 2 outs.
I think it's interesting. We talk about this team learning how to win, and a lot of people, the saying goes, winning leads to winning. But there's a lot of players from FFCJ on this roster that won a ton in their time at the junior college level, and we haven't quite seen. Of course, it's so early, so it's impossible to say any of that has not transpired yet. But there's winners in there. They just need to learn, especially with clutch pitching and clutch hitting late in these games.
Big cut and miss from Jorge Rodriguez, the catcher. Rodriguez ball chop foul. Rodriguez is not yet this season. Pick up to pitch count. There's ball 4 in the
and some really tough
in the 7 hit. Strike low is on first, the first straight back. Hodge is a rotation part of this team last year. He laces that one to right field, coming on, and it's going to drop in front of Mark. It's 1-0 Bethune-Cookman.
And we talk so much about the opportunities that this team has had late in games, early in games. They've left a ton of men on with 2 outs here. That's a big deal.
And the Wildcats punish the 2-out walk from Gambardella with 2 straight singles. Cordova up the middle and Hodges into right, and that's must be a big confidence boost for Jason Hodges, someone who was in and out of the lineup last year, hasn't played a lot yet this year, trying to work his way in. And he may be the beneficiary of Coach Hernandez saying, well, let's change things up a little bit this week.
Sometimes that's all it takes. It's just a little bit of a shake-up, get guys a little bit uncomfortable working into situations they're not used to. Hopefully throughout the course of a season,
we apologize for a little bit of the technical issues we are having here. To give you a little bit of a peek behind the scenes, there is renovations being done to Jackie Robinson Ballpark. We are not in the press box at the moment. We are at a table behind home plate.
Olison, second base.
We do not have access to our normal internet setup, so bear with us as we work through some of our issues. It is 1-0 Bethune-Cookman on a 2-out single by Jason Hodges that scored Jorge Rodriguez. And here's the 9-hole hitter, Colton Olison, who, by his own very lofty standards, has had a poor start to the season, batting under 100. Strike 2, count 0-2. Olison, 2 runs on 2 hits, a double and 4 RBIs. Outside corner ball, 1-1-2 the count. Cordova on second, Hodges on first after back-to-back singles scored Rodriguez, who walked with 2 down, giving the Wildcats a 1-0 lead. Pitch in the dirt, ball gets away from the catcher. Runners will advance without
every little potential advantage have the Wildcats so far, but it's really been the patience at the plate that has gotten them to this point. Olison working his way back from down 0-2 to 2-2. To hit or take your base.
Now the Wildcats in a position where a base hit may be 2 runs here. And it's hit towards second base. Sargent fields and fires. So the Wildcats get a run on 2 hits and strand 2. And after the 2-second inning, it's 1-0 Bethune-Cookman. To the 3rd inning we go as we head to radio style here at the Jack. Again, apologies for the technical difficulties with our cameras.
Sargent, second base.
Dealing with a little bit of Wi-Fi challenges here at the Jack. We are told we should pretty soon be back to our somewhat normal setup, so hopefully we will get a better broadcast on the air.
We were told by our first home conference series against Florida A&M we should be the last inning with a ground out. He's batting .267, 5 runs on 8 hits with 2 doubles and 4 ribbies. It's Tanner Boacabello, the St. John's River State transfer. I'm sure puts one towering in the air but foul down the right field line. And Portsmouth High School from Sargent. Count holds 1-2 for a 3rd time here. Hit .273 in 45 appearances. Jorge Rodriguez had in the middle of the last inning that kick-started the Wildcat 2-out rally for them to get a run and lead 1-0. Pitch That one is smashed to left field. There's a base hit. One hop fielded by Chun, and the Black Bears have their first base runner of the night.
And that was a nice piece of hitting. That one was down in the lower corner of the zone, kind of down near the knees, and Sargent was able to get down on it, hit it out into left.
Now here's Jonathan Gonzalez, the freshman shortstop, making his first appearance of the season. Pickoff attempt at first. Sargent slides back in. Gonzalez playing in his home state from Miami, Florida. Pitch up and in, and it's 1-0 on the fastball from Bocabello. Gonzalez prepped at Florida Christian School down in Miami. And the 1-0 from Bocabello. Breaking ball finds the inside corner, and it's 1-1. Pitch down and away, 2-1. It's important for Tanner Bocabello here to not let that base runner phase him. Just work on the batter. They've already attempted 2 pickoffs.
Definitely over last weekend series at Northwestern, there was big change when there was a leadoff base runners, when guys were getting on. That's when the pressure came, and that's when we start to see guys struggle a little bit.
Check back over to first again, and Sargent isn't even really getting that big of a lead out there. Kind of walking 2 or 3 steps away from the bag. The 2-2. Breaking ball swing and a miss as it's tipped into the glove. Second strikeout for Bocabello, 1 down.
Bocabello has not exactly racked up strikeouts in the same way we've seen in years past, but he has gotten them when it's counted. He's put up 6 or 7 in each of his starts so far. Finding that put-away pitch is so important. It's been the breaking ball so far.
Now here's Colin Plants, the senior center fielder, batting 120, 2 runs on 3 hits, a double and 3 RBIs. First pitch outside and low ball 1.
That was basically a reverse of the same kind of hit we saw from Sargent. Low in the zone and away, gets down on it, goes out to right this time.
Now they'll bring up Nick White.
Number 14, left fielder Nick White.
White flying out to center his first time up, made some pretty good contact, but of course got lost in the gulf that is the outfield here at the Jack. It was a pretty easy catch for Rivera. Breaking ball inside, misses 1-0. White, a senior from Pepperell, Massachusetts, and a transfer from Northern Essex Community College 2 years ago. Last year, hit .380 in 19 starts for the Black Bears and was named America All-East Tournament team. And he is ahead in the count 2-0 after a high fastball from Bocabello. 2 on, 1 out. Black Bears threatening here, top of the 3rd. Pitch fouled away, 2-1. I think that's the kind of pitch that Bocabello needs to go back to. Work the fastball into the zone. If it's in play, it's in play. Let your defenders work on it. Trying to induce some soft contact. High in the air, first base side. That will make the bleachers. White batting leadoff for Maine, despite averaging 182 on the season. When he gets on, he most often comes around to score. 6 runs on 7 hits for him. And he bats with runners on first and second. With 1 out, top of the 3rd, and the Wildcats with a 1-0 lead. Bocabello, breaking ball, hit high in the air, left field line, out of play. White has had probably the best contact of any of these Black Bear hitters so far. Had the deep shot to center his first time up, and then has made some solid foul ball contact, just haven't straightened it out.
Bocabello hasn't missed a ton of bats so far.
Fastball upstairs trying to get a swing. White doesn't go. 3-2 the count. And now you're in a situation where a walk loads the bases with only one out here. The Wildcats have found themselves in these kind of situations often this season. And it is a walk. Fastball misses outside to the lefty, and the bases are juiced.
And that's another ball that's left a little high. Bocabello has struggled on that upper half of the zone so far. Hasn't been able to get the breaking ball in there yet. Same goes for the fastball. If he can have some success with one of those pitches at the top of the zone, you can use that to set up either the off-speed or the fastball.
Here is Jake Marquez, bunted out back to Bocabello his first time up. He bats with the bases juiced and one out here in the third. Breaking ball, strike called from home plate umpire Manuel Fleitas. Marquez, another Miami product from Christopher Columbus High School. He's a senior this year and has spent his entire career with the Black Bears. Ground ball towards short, could be two. Villafane to Olison, over to first, not in time, and a run scores to tie the game. So Sargent comes in from third. Plant goes from second to third. White out on the fielder's choice, and Marquez on first via the fielder's choice.
And that was just a little bit of tough luck for the BCU defense because everything was done right, but that ball was just a little bit too slow rolling. You could make the argument that maybe Villafane could come in on that ball a little bit more instead of letting it come to him. But I still think there was a pretty healthy, safe call at first there.
So we are tied at 1 as Sargent comes in to score, and there's runners on the corners with 2 down for Jeremiah Jenkins. 12-6 curve gets a swing and miss, and it's 0-1. Jenkins, the first strikeout victim for Bocabello, ended the first inning. The tall lefty stands in, swings and misses down to his knees at a pitch in the dirt outside.
And that was one where Bocabello gets him with a little bit of deception. Had no idea what was coming there and completely fooled by the swing.
Jenkins, a junior from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, and another one low. Marquez goes from first to second, so he'll get a stolen base, no throw down there. But the Wildcats a strike away from only giving up 1 here in this inning. Pitch, fastball upstairs, missed his spot again, did Bocabello, count 2-2.
Bocabello's kind of worked off those balls high in the zone to set up really the rest of his approach, and when they're just not hitting, it's been tough.
Ground ball chopped down the first baseline. Bocabello charges, flips to first in time to end the inning. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 left, and we go to the bottom of the third in a 1-1 contest. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman University Baseball here on the CatEye Network. We go to the bottom of the third. Jimmy Villafane leads off for the Wildcats. Top of the order for BCU. It's a 1-1 ball game. A bunt attempt by Villafane tipped into the glove for strike 1. He grounded out to third his first time up to begin the game. So both teams had a 2-hit, 1-run second inning. And it's 1-1. Or excuse me, Wildcats Villafane. And Gambardella deals. Breaking ball misses outside, 2-1. Villafane, one of those newcomers, but experienced newcomers, the senior junior college transfer. 2-1. Ground ball, 1 away. That's 2 hardly hit ground balls to the left side for Villafane.
Against Northwestern last weekend was every time they would get some momentum, every time they would score some runs, the opponent would answer almost right away. We would match a 4-run inning with a 4-run inning we saw on Saturday in the early game, 1 for 1. Got to be able to work shutdown innings.
Ground ball to shortstop again. To get that one and safely aboard with an infield single is Sergio Rivera.
Well, it looked to me like Gonzalez had time to make the play. He went double. Jenkins over at first. It's kind of a strange play.
So now with Rivera on first and 1 out, here's Garrett Chun. Chun struck out his first time up in the bottom of the first. They check over to Villafane. And the pitch outside, first pitch to Chun is pitch. Big cut and miss on the off speed. Went to the changeup that time. Chun swung right through it, 1-1. Going to third is Rivera. He'll cut and miss. Had a slider that tailed away from him. Righty to righty. And again, we're going to say it a lot this year, I'm sure. Big spots for hitters. This is a Wildcat team that's diving. No shortstop. Rivera scored from third, and it's 2-1 Bethune-Cookman. Suffrain now has a 2-0 count on him as he's watched 2 straight balls outside. Suffrain flied out to left his first time. Got good contact on it, just couldn't get it down in front of White. And the 2-0 way outside, 3-0 and 5. We'll see him tomorrow most likely. That being Jason Krieger, and it's a 4-pitch walk for Manny Suffrain, and the bases are loaded with 1 out.
And it's interesting, we haven't really seen the power pop from Suffrain to start this season. But he's such an imposing presence in the box. He's been worked around, especially here at home, and being taken advantage of with the strikeout.
Manny Suffrain has worked a team-high 50. But again, they try and throw him stuff that make him swing and miss, and he's much more disciplined at the plate than he was last year. Credit to the work he put in for the bag from Jorge Rodriguez, the catcher who walked and scored in the second, was the first run for the Wildcats. Of course, now they lead it 2-1 with Rivera coming in earlier in the inning.
And Rodriguez shakes his head a little bit when he walks away and then back into the batter's box. I think he knows he was just a little bit out in front of that ball.
Corners playing in to try and cut off a potential play at home plate. Bases juiced, 1 away. The pitch. Hit high in the air to center field. Plant moving in. Makes the catch. Tagging from third is Chun.
Every run counts. And we've seen the Wildcats get into a little bit of problem spots, trying to do a little too much at the plate, but a sacrifice fly does just as good there as anything else. You take the run with more work to do.
None of the other runners advanced, so it's still Suffrain on first, Gonzalez on second with 2 down. Now here's Ramses Cordova, who singled in the second last time up. And he watches a fastball outside and low to the righty, and it's 1-0. Ramses. And he lays off the pitch, but it's a strike anyway. Slider catches the outside corner. I kind of want to compare him to Highland Hall, not in stature or in playing style, but just how he's very consistent. And it's 1-2.
And I think between third base and shortstop, it's 2 positions that I don't think Coach Jonathan Hernandez came into the season expecting a ton of offensive production. And yet Cordova and especially Villafane have really given a lot more than even was expected this early in the year. So it's been a welcome sight to start the year.
2 on, 2 out, the 1-2. Foul ball into the main dugout, and a little excuse me swing, and Cordova stays alive. Cordova was stranded on third in the second inning after singling. Moved from first to third on the single by Jason Hodges. And the 1-2. Out. Oh no, strike 3, a delayed strike 3 punch out from umpire Manuel Fleitas behind the plate, so a reverse K, but 2 runs, 3 hits, 2 left. And we go to the 4th inning of play. 3-1 Wildcats here on the CatEye Network. To the top of the fourth we go. The Wildcats have a 3-1 lead over the Maine Black Bears, as Connor Goodman, the designated hitter, leads things off. He was first pitch swinging his first time up and popped one out in foul territory to Rodriguez behind the plate. Hoping to do some better work this time against Tanner Bocabello. He squares to bunt. Bocabello throws a breaking ball outside 1-0. Connor Goodman, the third of the 3 Miami players on this Maine team. Fastball low in the dirt, 2-0. He has a wealth of experience outside the baseball diamond, does Goodman, and as it's a strike at the knees, 2-1. Despite being a senior in college, he already runs 2 nonprofits down in Miami related to baseball. In on the hands, popped up behind first base. Dufresne takes it himself, and there's one away. We'll talk more about Goodman when he comes up again.
You can't overstate, I guess I should say, the importance of a shutdown inning here. Like I had mentioned before in the broadcast, Northwestern haunted BCU last weekend, which is coming right back every time that they were challenged on the other side of the ball. And for Bocabello to be able to work quick here.
Big swing and miss. First pitch from Zach Martin, the right fielder. He flied out to left his first time up. And a quick inning here, crucial for Bocabello, both in pitch count and in mindset, to be able to just set these guys down in order. Big cut and miss again at a fastball low 0-2. He likes that spot down by the knees. Trying to get Martin out of there quickly. Here's the 0-2. Garbage pitch in the opposite batter's box. No take from Martin, 1-2.
And a quick inning goes a long way for the bats on the other side, too, to be able to come back in and still maintain that lead, not have to work so hard. Goes a long way.
Fastball upstairs, fouled into the Tomoka River. That one we are not getting back.
I'm surprised the foul ball hasn't hit a biker yet over the last week or so, with how many bounce between the street and out there in the river.
Another garbage pitch opposite batter's box. Martin takes 2-2. So after an 0-2 count, Martin has battled back. Bocabello shakes off a couple of signs from Rodriguez, holds his blue glove to his face and deals. And he got him swinging with a breaking ball, low and away. Third strikeout of the game for Bocabello.
And when Bocabello can induce those swings on the breaking ball outside of the zone, he has a ton of success, because then he can paint his spots with that fastball, especially high. And there's a whole bunch of options when it comes to that strike 3 pitch.
Here's Dean O'Neill, the catcher. Grounded out to Olison at second his first time up. Ooh, look out. That one slipped out of Bocabello's hands and almost took O'Neill's head off as he dives out of the way. Bocabello waves home and says, "That was my bad." And he comes set again. Bocabello is one of those modern age pitchers that works out of the stretch even when there's nobody on. Over rotates that time. 2 poor pitches from Bocabello, and it's 2-0. And the pitch inside, hit him. That's 3 wild pitches from Tanner Bocabello right in a row. And you were talking about getting out of the inning quickly. That is not the way to do it.
Still 2 outs. Still very easy to put it all behind you, but you can't let it compound. We've seen a lot of attention to runners throughout the start of this season, really for both sides here at the Jack, but the Wildcats right there with them. A lot of throw-overs, even when runners are at second. Can't let it affect you too much with 2 outs here. Just focus on the batter.
First pitch to Miles Sargent, who singled and scored in the 3rd. He scored on the Colin Plant single. And he has the Black Bears' only run as Maine is down 3-1, but he is now in a 2-0 count as 2 pitches go high from Bocabello, who has thrown 5 straight balls. Big cut and miss. Fastball at the letters, and it's 2-1. And as a pitcher, you're cruising through an inning and then you suddenly can't find the strike zone. How do you get it back?
Don't want to give up a cookie down the middle, too, by any means.
And he misses high again, 3-1.
But now your hand is forced. Putting 2 men on with 2 outs, especially with the hit by pitch and walk being the means to do it, is a little disconcerting.
The 3-1, ball 4 up and in. So 2 quick outs and then a hit by pitch and walk brings up Jonathan Gonzalez, who had a rough inning at the shortstop position, as we get a meeting on the mound before this at-bat. But yeah, Gonzalez dove for a ball, made the play, but then popped up and didn't make the throw to first. And that was the first hit of the game, or the inning rather, by Sergio Rivera. And then he missed a diving one from Chun. Both runners came around to score, and he's trying to make up for it on the offensive side this inning. He struck out his first time up to Jonathan Gonzalez.
Of course, neither of those plays defensively are particularly easy in any way. Both tough plays to make, but you wonder, especially when runs come in to score as a result of it, does it affect your mentality? Do you slump the shoulders a little bit? Do you get a little discouraged, thinking maybe you're the reason your team may be down a pair of runs so far? But he's in a spot where he can very quickly put all that to rest right here.
Gonzalez, the freshman from Miami.
The batter for the Black Bears is shortstop number 4.
The Bears will head down there shortly. They got a 3-game set at Florida Atlantic next weekend. That's their final non-conference series. And they'll play at South Florida over in Tampa on Wednesday to wrap up this Florida swing. Big fastball down the middle, swing and a miss from Gonzalez, 0-1. And I'm pretty sure that was the message in the huddle. Just throw strikes, let the defense do its job. The 0-1, ground ball towards short, and it is popped up high in the air, and no plays anywhere. It's going to go into center field. A runner coming home. Did it hit an umpire?
It did. It hit the official at second base, kicked off of his heel to pop it up, so they won't award the run there. A little fortunate break for BCU, although I'm not sure if that's a hit at all if the official isn't there. Nothing you can really do about it. Got on him so quick, made an effort to get out of the way.
I'll see what our esteemed statistician Brian Harvey does with that one. Either way, here's Colin Plant, who had the RBI single his first time up. Bases loaded, 2 down after the Wildcats set 2 down in quick succession. Then a hit by pitch, a walk, and then I'm calling it a base hit for now, off of the umpire. Loads the bases.
Can we give an error on the official out there?
That's a line drive, base hit right field. 1 run scores, that's O'Neill. Sargent will hold up around third as the throw comes in from Hodges, and it is 3-2. And man, again, you talk about missed opportunities.
And Jason Hodges and the Wildcats are fortunate that ball got to them so quickly, or you're looking at 2 to 3 runs scoring on that base hit right there. But, you know, with the shutdown inning now behind you and out of reach, you just try to limit the damage. This could be so much worse. If you can escape this with still a lead in your hands, it goes a long, long way.
And now here's Nick White, who walked in the third, flew out in the first, top of the order for Maine. Bocabello loses control again, and it's 1-0.
Right there, I think we're starting to talk nibbling a little bit, really trying to avoid pounding the zone, trying to stay away, trying to do swings and misses, but when they're not competitive like that, you just can't do it.
Fouled away, 1-1 from White. Bases loaded here. Sargent on third, Gonzalez on second, Plant on first. And O'Neill already into the inning. He was the hit by pitch that extended this inning with 2 outs. There's a big swing and miss and a pitch at the shoelaces. And Bocabello a strike away from getting out of the inning again.
And it started with attacking the zone on the second pitch. Went low middle and was able to get a swing and miss as a result on the next pitch.
Runners on the corners, the 1-2. Swing and a miss, but he got a piece of it and fouled it straight into the ground. And we'll do the 1-2 again.
Bocabello's going to ask for a new ball here after Rodriguez threw that one in the dirt on its way back up. And that was another good pitch by Bocabello, attacking the lower half of the zone with the fastball.
Excuse me, the bases are loaded. I didn't say runners on the corners earlier, my apologies. Bases loaded, 2 down, the 1-2 to White. Bocabello deals. Ground ball, foul, first base side.
That's 3 straight pitches right in the same spot. White hasn't really shown any ability to put it in play just yet, but you also worry as he had a chance to time it up. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if Bocabello goes right back to it right here.
Bocabello shakes off a sign from Rodriguez. Now comes set from the stretch, deals. Big swing and a golfer foul down the left field line. Wanted to see if that one was going to stay in play. It was not.
But we saw it again. Same exact pitch from Bocabello. White hasn't been able to get his hands around it yet. Nothing's really been even close to in play yet. Starting to get a little dangerous when you're throwing it again, but wouldn't shock me.
The 1-2. Upstairs, 2-2.
And I think that was the other alternative there was the high fastball. Bocabello relies on it a lot deep into counts. But now you've got White in a little bit of a tricky spot. You've got options here.
Ground ball towards Olesen at second. He fields and fires, and the Wildcats once again get away with one. 1 run, 2 hits, 3 left. And so the Wildcats have stranded 5 Maine base runners in the last 2 innings. They lead at 3-2, headed to the bottom of the 4th here on the CatEye Network. To the bottom of the 4th we go. Jason Hodges leads off for the Wildcats. He singled and was stranded on second his first time up. Breaking ball low from Gambardella. Second pitch from Gambardella is in the dirt, and it's 2-0. Tanner Bocabello for the Wildcats has thrown 72 pitches through 4 innings. There's a strike outside corner. To my eyes, that was a bit of a generous spot, but it is 2-1. Gambardella, by contrast, 65 pitches here at the start of his 4th. Ground ball first base side into the glove of Jenkins. He'll take it himself, 1 away. Now here's Colton Olesen, grounded out to second base to end the 2nd inning and strand 2.
Number 2, Colton Olesen.
We talked about the offensive struggle for Olesen. And it's very much like last year. It was a cold bat for a long time. Got it going towards the end of the year. He rips this one towards left field. That is going to stay up in the air long enough for White to make a play on it and catch a line out.
The impressive thing from Olesen, if you just watch him in the dugout in BP day to day, is he never lets any of this stuff affect him, and that's why he's been such a great leader for this Wildcats team. He's always just kind of a mouthpiece of where the team's at and always keeping heads up and shoulders high.
Well, now 2 outs on 3 pitches. And here's Villafane. Swings at the first pitch, chops it foul towards Johnny Hernandez in the third base coach's box, 0-1. And this would be tough for the Wildcats if they go 1-2-3 here and give a hot Maine batting order a chance to go back to work at the plate. There is a Wildcat throwing over in the bullpen. Long way down that line, can't quite see who it is. The 0-2 pitch to Villafane. In there, strike 3 called. Wait, no, it's a ball. Everybody left the field. The catcher ran halfway to the dugout. The pitcher, Gambardello, was halfway to the dugout. Even Jamie Villafane was headed back towards the dugout. And the umpire says it's ball 1, so it's 1-2.
Got to be careful not to show up the official behind the plate. I mean, we don't deal with guys with big egos necessarily at this level, but it can certainly affect the way it's called.
The 1-2, that's a ball upstairs, 2-2. Man, if you're Gambardello, you got to feel like, I got to get this guy now. 2-2, 2 out. Gambardello working quickly. It's in the dirt. Did he go? Yes. And that is a strikeout to end the inning. So we got there eventually. Nothing for the Cats in the 4th as they go down very quickly, 1-2-3. We head to the 5th, 3-2 Wildcats here on the CatEye Network. Jake Marquez leads off the top of the 5th inning for the Maine Black Bears. They trail the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 3-2 here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Final non-conference series of the season for the Wildcats. Marquez bunted out to the pitcher in the 1st and then reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd. And the first pitch from Bocabello, his 81st pitch, is a fastball outside of the right-hander, ball 1. We do have bullpens working for the Wildcats. Can't tell if there's anybody throwing for the Black Bears. Doesn't appear so. There's a strike. Breaking ball caught the zone. 1-1.
You'd love to get one more from Bocabello here. Get a leadoff base runner on. It's going to be tough.
And a ball in the dirt, 2-1. Maine was picked to finish 2nd in the preseason poll out of the America East behind Binghamton and ahead of UMBC. Of course, the reigning tournament champions is Maine. That one hit in the air to center field. Moving to his left, Rivera camps under it, makes the catch, 1 away.
First baseman number 28, Jeremiah Jenkins.
And here is the reigning American East Baseball Player of the Year. Jeremiah Jenkins led the conference in home runs and RBI last season with 21 and 76, respectively. First pitch is low, ball 1. He has struck out and grounded out straight back to Bocabello in his 2 plate appearances. Nobody on, 1 out, the 5th. Big hack from Jeremiah Jenkins. I see a lot of similarities between how Jeremiah Jenkins is at the plate and Jorge Gonzalez-Febo, who's not at the lineup for the Wildcats tonight. Just tries to mash everything he sees. He takes another big swing and fouls one off, and it's 1-2.
And like Gonzalez-Febo loves those pitches low in the zone. He's tried to go down for them every single time because it gives him a chance for that big uppercut swing that's going to go into the gaps or over the wall.
Reminds me of Vladimir Guerrero. The 1-2 to Jenkins. Ground ball, base hit to the first base side. Olesen a little bit too far towards second base to make the play. And once again, a base runner for the Black Bears.
And interesting there, the attack was low, 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 everything from Jenkins. He showed that he was willing to go down there for every single one, and Bocabello continued to go low in the zone.
Now here's Connor Goodman, who's popped out twice on the infield. Both to the catcher Rodriguez. Pitch. Upstairs and in, ball one. I said we'd get back to Goodman the next time he was up. And we will momentarily. There's a fastball strike down the middle, count 1-1. Goodman, big Marlins fan, of course being from Miami, Florida. And the 1-1 is a fastball down the middle, strike two. And he started a charity called Miami Marlins MVP when he was 9 years old. He partners with the Miami Marlins Foundation. And he gets kids in tough situations out to the ballpark. And he hits one to the right side and two back-to-back singles down the first base line. First and second, one out for the Black Bears.
And you wonder, you know, how much longer the leash is with Bocabello.
And now here's Zach Martin. Another 0 for 2 start for the Black Bears. He's the last of those. Flew out to left and then struck out his first 2 plate appearances. He struck out to begin the last inning. And that one up by his face, ball one. Bocabello has lost the first pitch strike. That's how he was getting through the first couple of innings, and once he got away from that, Maine's been in one. So the Black Bears have had the bases loaded at some
Tough spot.
bases loaded, 1 out. And we will meet the new pitcher shortly for the Wildcats. Again, bases loaded, 1 out here for the Black Bears, who only trail by 1. Maine hasn't gotten everything all at once. It's just been 1 hit at a time, chipping away at it. As the new pitcher for Bethune-Cookman will be Patrick Gork, the senior from Land O'Lakes. And a transfer from FSCJ. Last year at FSCJ, 6.99 ERA, 31 walks, 42 strikeouts. But he does hold the single season record in saves in FSC Jacksonville history with 11. So he has come in similar spots and been good. But he will face a tough situation here. It'll be Dean O'Neill to face him first. O'Neill grounded out in the second, was hit by a pitch and scored in the fourth.
Number 25, Patrick Gork. Patrick Gork, the new pitcher for Bethune-Cookman.
We've seen a lot of BCU arms kind of get thrown into the fire. Some bases loaded spots. It's such a big spot. And we haven't had a scoreless inning dating back to the second. The Wildcats finally put some momentum on the offensive side of the ball. And can't overestimate how important every little thing is. And with only 1 out here, there's stuck in a serious spot where a lot of damage can be done, and it can really get put out of reach.
This is the 4th appearance of the season for Gork. He faces the righty O'Neill out of the stretch. Bases loaded, 1 out, Wildcats with a 1-run lead. His first pitch is a looping breaking ball that goes way out of the zone and forces Rodriguez to slide over. Credited with the win against Stonehill back in the opening series of the season, went 2 innings against Florida and then 2 against Northwestern, both in relief. On the season, he's got 6 innings pitched, allowed 2 runs on 4 hits, 1 earned, 5 strikeouts, 4 walks. Another breaking ball doesn't catch the zone as it dovetails left to right away from the hitter, 2-1. Pitch to O'Neill. Fastball, ground ball to third, and it's going to be off the glove of Cordova, and everybody is safe Jenkins scores from third and the game is tied. That was right down the third baseline. I'm not sure if it kicked off the bag or kicked off Cordova's glove, but either way, it's 3-3.
Based on our angle from here, I think Cordova was a little too anticipating going for the double play right there, really trying to make a quick play, and started the throwing motion before he had received the ball, had it in his glove, and so it works out probably be an error.
Breaking ball misses upstairs to Miles Sargent. Singled and scored in the third, walked and was stranded on third in the fourth. The most dangerous part of this main order has been the bottom half tonight. Pops one sky high. That will go foul as the wind takes it out of play. And it's 1-1. So in the inning, Marquez led off by flying out to center field. Then Jenkins walked, or Jenkins singled, Goodman singled, Martin walked, and O'Neill singled. Fastball in for a strike, and it's 1-2. And they do give an error to Cordova for that last play. So take the hit away from O'Neill. It is an error. Big cut and miss. Strike 3 on a breaking ball as Sargent goes down.
Still very much a big strikeout there.
Now there's 2 away with the bases still loaded. And Jonathan Gonzalez, the shortstop, comes up. He has an RBI single. He singled home Dean O'Neill in the 4th. Before that, he struck out in the 3rd, his first time up. And he bats at a bases-loaded 2-out situation. Fastball down the middle, strike 1 from Gork. I think that's got to be Patrick Gork's pitch. He's gone to this little 12-6 looping curveball. But the fastball's been his good pitch. Here's the 0-1. Goes back to the fastball. Gets a strike called low and outside, 0-2.
That's really a perfect spot. Not a whole lot you can do with that there as a hitter unless you really go down for it, but it is very much in the zone.
I expect to see a breaking ball in the opposite batter's box here. Let's see. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball, and it's swung on and missed. So Gork comes in, and if not for the error, is pretty good. Gets 2 strikeouts. But the Black Bears do tie it up. 1 run, 3 hits, an error, and 3 left. And we go to the bottom of the 5th in a 3-3 ball game here on the CatEye Network. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's a 3-3 ball game here at the Jack, the Wildcats, and the Maine Black Bears. First of a 3-game series here this weekend. And Sergio Rivera leads off. Breaking ball finds the zone. Gambardella still in for the Black Bears on the mound, starting his 5th inning of work. 75 pitches so far for Gambardella. His second pitch is in the dirt, 1-1. Rivera lined out sharply to left field, or center field, excuse me, his first time up, and then singled and scored in the 3rd. That was the big 2-run inning for the Wildcats. And he got all of that one, but was just a little bit ahead of it and fouls it away.
With the wind ripping out there to left field, you never know. A little bit of activity in the bullpen for Maine.
The 1-2 hit the other way to right, coming on and diving to make the catch is Martin, and he squeezes it for out number 1. That's another great defensive play in the outfield from Maine. There have been 2 or 3 of those already tonight.
And you could see Martin watching that ball, trying to track it, trying to gauge when it would drop in there. Thought maybe it would get down, but he was nice job staying underneath that one.
And now Garrett Chun struck out his first time up in the first, singled and scored in the third. He actually represents the last time the Wildcats have scored in the game. First pitch strike outside corner to the lefty. The last time there was a runner on base was Manny Sufrain all the way back in the third, as the Wildcats went quietly in the fourth. There's another fastball strike outside corner, exact same spot from Gambardella, and Chun quickly behind 0-2. 6 hits to 5 from Maine, including the 1 error from Bethune-Cookman. Chun reaches and barely 2. Catcher sits up outside. The pitch goes that way, and it's 1-2. Now 2 arms throwing for the Black Bears. The bullpen down the first base line. The 1-2 to Chun. Big cut and miss, and he goes down on strikes for the second time in the game. Quickly 2 away for Gambardella.
That's really the only thing you can't do if you're Bethune-Cookman right now, is you don't want to give Gambardella a chance to get back into the game like he has settled in and work maybe even into another inning when you have bullpen arms ready to go right there. Bats have been working early, but we know how much this lineup loves to attack the pen.
First pitch outside, ball 1 to Jose Gonzalez. He has the RBI single in the third, but struck out looking in the second in his 2 plate appearances. 2 on, nobody out here in the 5th. Breaking ball, chopped towards the middle, and it is through the diving glove of Sargent and into center field. And a 2-out base hit for Jose Gonzalez. And that's just a nice piece of hitting. Take what the pitcher gives you. It was a breaking ball down the middle. Rolled over it a little bit, but seeing eye singles are still singles.
You always got to be careful.
Flied out in the second and walked in the third to load the bases. Was stranded there. First pitch to him. Big cut and miss, and he fouls one off to the left from the lefty. And chasing Gambardella is important because if you look at the ERAs in some of these bullpen arms, 9, 11, 13, 16, you feel that you can attack this bullpen pitch. Outside, barely, ball 1, 1-1 the count. But of course, if you're Maine, you're looking at our bullpen statistics and thinking the exact same thing. The 1-1, outside 2-1. And you can tell that Gambardella wants nothing to do with that inside corner of Manny Sufrain. He's a big guy, but he is lightning quick at turning on those.
Everything since this game and really for the whole early part of this season has been away, away, away.
That time he hits one deep to center field, going back plant, to the track, to the wall. Adios, amigos. That is why you do not throw inside to Manny Sufrain. He crushes one, 410 feet to center field, and the Wildcats take a 5-3 lead.
We worked a handful of games together here at this ballpark. That is by far the longest home run we've seen. That was over the batter's eye in center field. That was a bomb. That was a bomb, and I'm not sure anybody else in this BCU lineup can get a hold of a ball like Manny Sufrain just did.
That
Holy.
was unbelievable. We know he has that kind of power, but like, that was against the wind too, because the wind is blowing in from right.
As dead center field as you can possibly get in this ballpark, just challenging it, no doubt.
5-3 Wildcats, and here is Jorge Rodriguez. Breaking ball finds the top of the zone, and it's 0-1. And the Wildcats now put together a 2-out rally of their own because Rivera flied out and Chun struck out to start the inning. Then a Gonzalez single, and of course the Sufrain bomb, and it's 5-3. This is the game of 2 outs. Both teams want there to be 2 outs on the board before they do anything offensively.
And it's just an important reason why you never give up on innings like this. The Wildcats, especially last year, a lot had a tendency to not pack it in, but when you would get down early, they would kind of get into a rhythm of just swinging early and being aggressive and leading to quick outs, and that's why you never give up on plays like that.
Fastball outside corner, 1-2 to Rodriguez. Rodriguez walked and scored in the second on the Jason Hodges single and then flew out in the third to center. Here's the pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No. And it's 2-2. That pitch was outside and low. The 2-2. Ground ball up the middle. It is a diving attempt by Sargent, but it's into center field for another base hit. Sargent's been hard done. He's had a couple of those slow rollers right up the middle that he has not been able to corral. We see the bullpen arms from Maine. One of them is Marshall Samarco.
Number 36, Ramses Cordova.
You have to think we're getting towards the end of Gambardella. Even the contact there, even though it's a ground ball, really hard hit.
And now here's Cordova, singled in the second, struck out in the third. First pitch fastball outside corner to the righty, strike one. Wildcats with 2 already in the inning. They lead it 5-3 off a 2-run bomb by Manny Soufrain to dead center. The 0-1 in the dirt and away, and it's 1-1. It's a little bit of a bullpen. I'll get you his full numbers when if and when he does come into pitch. Here's the 1-2. Gambardella trying to get out of the inning, and it does. Big swing and miss, breaking ball in the dirt. But the Wildcats get 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 left, and we go to the 6th inning. The Wildcats retake the lead. It's 5-3. It is the 9-hole hitter Colin Plant to start us off in the 6th. The Wildcats have a 5-3 lead courtesy of a 2-run Manny Soufrain homer in the bottom of the inning. Squaring to bunt and pulling it back and taking a strike is Plant. Plant has 2 singles. He's stranded on third in the third and on first in the fourth. But his single brought home Nick White for an RBI back in the 3rd inning. Nike is the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the newest BCU Nike gear at Nike.com / Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Pitch in the dirt, count 1-2. Correction, 2-2. And the pitch. Breaking ball, big swing and miss, and I'll tell you what, Colin Plant did not know what hit him in that at-bat.
Really tight break on that ball, broke late. So absolutely fooled him again.
3 straight strikeouts across the inning break from Gork. He's come in and done the job.
Cannot overstate the importance of a shutdown inning right here.
And we've said that in the last couple of innings, and the Wildcats have gotten 2 outs, and then here comes Maine with 2 straight 2-out rallies to score runs. First pitch outside to the leadoff man, Nick White. He's made a couple of nice plays in the field. In left. Fastball outside 2-0. Continues to be action in the Maine bullpen. I think we probably will have seen the end of Gianni Gambardella, but we will see when it comes to the bottom of the inning. The pitch is low, 3-0. I always find it interesting as Gork works quickly, fastball down the middle, strike 1. I find it interesting, right? You get a batter on a string like Gork did with Plant, and then you struggle to find the zone on the next hitter. And it's smashed up the middle, base hit. White makes a big turn at first, but Rivera fires back in to keep him there. And now 1 on, 1 out. Here's Jake Marquez. Yeah,
as you mentioned, trying to find the zone there. That was very much a pitch from Gork there that he was just trying to find the zone with. And of course, credit to White for getting on that one and sending it right back the way it came.
Here's Jake Marquez, grounded out on a bunt in the first. Reached on a fielder's choice and stranded on second and third, and then flied out to center to begin the 5th. And he hits this one in on the hand to short. Charging from third is Cordova, throws across the diamond in time. And so there are 2 away. Nice play by Cordova. I think he kind of took it into his own hands there and called off Villafane, made the play. White goes to second on the throw, so now there's a runner on second with 2 down, and here's Jeremiah Jenkins. Struck out on the first, grounded out to the pitcher in the third, and then singled and scored in the 5th on a hard hit ball to the right side. That was part of the pair of balls that were hit sharply to the first base side and taking advantage of a Colton Olison positioning more towards second base, and now Colton is right in the middle. He knows if that happens again, he'll be right there on it. I like to call Colton Olison the black hole. He just swallows everything that's hit his way.
His instincts, his command overall, communication-wise of the infield.
The 1-0 is low, and it's 2-0. Jenkins, very tall left-hand hitter. Listed at 6'4", and he golfs one to left field and deep. Back goes Hodges. All he can do is watch it go, and we're tied.
And once again, Maine just continues to be a pest after the run scored by the Wildcats. Can only do so much, can only go so far.
Home run for Jeremiah Jenkins.
Home run number 4 on the season for Jeremiah Jenkins. He takes the team lead away from Jake Marquez, and it is 5-5.
Hitter number 31, Connor Goodman.
Not often we see multiple home runs in a contest here at the Jack. And one of those nights.
First pitch to Connor Goodman is a strikeout at 0-1. But again, Bryce, 2 out runs. Both teams have got, I think, all of their runs with 2 outs in this game.
It's been an exciting broadcast, to say the least. Everybody matching blow for blow.
Breaking ball catches the zone, 1-2 the count to Connor Goodman.
That breaking ball breaks so late, it's so tough to catch.
Does it again, but it's in the dirt, 2-2. I talked about Goodman's Miami Marlins MVP charity. He started another one when he was in high school called Tonner's Champions. Program designed to raise money and get baseball equipment for underprivileged kids in Miami. Inside on a breaking ball, the count runs full. He works with the Boys and Girls Clubs down in South Florida. It's great to see work like that off the field. Pitch, fastball in on the hands, fouled away.
Especially starting so early. I mean, even at the collegiate level, take your free time, take resources you have and put it into something so important and so valuable to the community is so awesome to see.
The 3-2. Fastball, strike 3 called at the knees. Big punch out from the umpire behind the plate. But 2 runs, 2 hits, none left, and we go to the bottom of the 6th, and it is 5-5. As we go to the bottom of the 6th at a 5-5 ball game, Jason Hodges leads off, and he will face a new pitcher for the Black Bears. First out of the bullpen is Marshall Smaracco. And righty to righty, the first pitch. Hodges watches a breaking ball tail into the zone at the knees, and it's 0-1. Smaracco has no record and a 0 ERA in 3 innings pitched across 3 appearances. He's given up no runs on 4 hits, struck out 1, and walked 1. And he pitched 1 inning each against Pittsburgh, as that one's hit hard up the middle and down for a base hit. I thought for a second Plant was going to get there. He elected not to dive and watch the ball drop in front of him, and Hodges has his second base knock of the game. I'm not sure Plant tracks that down even with a dive. He was playing really far over into about halfway into, I guess, what we would consider right center field. A little bit of a shift on. He's trotting that way now as well, and so it cost him there, and the ball falls in between. Now here's Colton Olison. Grounded out his first time up, and he squares to bunt, pulls it back, hits a strike, and it's 0-1. Then his second time up, lined one sharply to left field for White to catch. And he's got Hodges on with nobody out. This is the first no-out base runner that the Wildcats have had in the ball game. It's very clear how much Maine wants this game just as much as BCU does. We talk about how important a win would be for momentum here, but with only the 1 win. Olison bunted down the first base line. It's a beauty. Nobody's covering first base, and it forces the pitcher, Smaracco, to take it himself to the first base bag. And he sacrificed bunts Hodges over to second. Another odd piece of miscommunication there for Maine. Jenkins trying to come in and make that play, even though it was really clear from the jump that the pitcher was going to go after that ball, and nearly cost him. Now here's the top of the order, Villafane with Hodges on second. First pitch chase, slider low, and it's 1-0. Smaracco, a senior from Rollinsford, New Hampshire, out of Marshallwood High School, is a career Black Bear. And the 1-0, that one is a slider again, but that time caught the zone at the knees, 1-1. missed the entirety of last season with an injury. This is his first season back since 2022. Here's the pitch. Upstairs with the fastball, and it's 2-1. At least that's what the board says. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, left side, base hit. Rounding third and holding up is Hodges. He will stay there, and it's a single for Villafane, his first hit of the ball game, and the runners are on the corners with one down for Sergio Rivera, who already has a hit and a run scored in the ball game. Big spot for the center fielder now.
As we'll have a little bit of meeting on the mound to talk things over. We talked pregame between Coach Hernandez about, you know, the team learning how to win, and we kind of said that in a lot of ways a game like this is a lot more valuable than one that is, you know, the Wildcats jump in front early, never relinquish a lead. But this is a game right here that the Wildcats are forced to hit in clutch spots, forced to pitch in tough spots. And if they can make it pay off, it's a long way into kind of learning what it takes in these tight games and figuring out what works. If it's small ball, if it's doubles, if it's patience at the plate, if it's a combination of all of those things, of figuring out what exactly it's going to take to compete at this level.
The Diamond Cats are back at Jackie Robinson Ballpark and looking to continue their hot start to the 2024 season. Catch Bethune-Cookman Baseball this weekend as the Wildcats host Maine for a 3-game series. First pitch is set for Saturday at 6 p.m. and Sunday at 1 p.m. Tickets start at just $10. Can't make it. Catch all the action live at youtube.com/CatEye Network. Have a bit of a odd commentary rotation this week on the CatEye Network. You'll have Bryce and Daryl Natil tomorrow, as I am up in Tallahassee with the basketball teams for their season finale. You can catch that one on the CatEye Network radio as well. Here's the first pitch, squaring to bunt. Runner goes to second, throw down there. Not in time. Runner comes home. He is safe. The good old double steal. Jason Hodges scores from third, and the Wildcats take a 6-5 lead.
And, Mike, you weren't here last weekend to see that work really both ways against Bethune-Cookman and Northwestern, but that was a play the Wildcats went to on Friday and on Saturday, and it worked both times, with the runner going to second to try to get the runner home from third. It kind of forces, you know, you got to have a team that's really tight communication-wise on the infield and in the battery to be able to communicate and figure out what the correct play is there. But, again, Maine sells out for the steal and lets the runner score.
Now Villafane on second. There's a strike. Count 1-1. It was almost a double bluff as well, because Rivera squared to bunt, then pulled it back. So the corner infielders were already confused. Then Villafane stole. The catcher threw to second, and Hodges came in to score. Here's the pitch. Big cut and miss. And down on strikes goes Sergio Rivera, and there's 2 away. And now here's Garrett Chun with a chance for another RBI, with the speedy Jamie Villafane standing on second. Chun singled and scored in the third, but has 2 strikeouts as the bread to that sandwich in the second and the 5th pitch. Ground ball up the middle, snagged by Samaraco. He flips to first for the out, and that ends the inning. Great reaction by the pitcher. If not, that's another RBI single up the middle. But a run on 2 hits, and we go to the 7th inning. Wildcats retake the lead. It's 6-5 here at the Jack. The 2024 Starry SWAC men's and women's basketball tournaments presented by Buick return to the Magic City of Birmingham, Alabama, Wednesday, March 13th through Saturday, March 16th, as the league's top 8 teams on both sides look to bring home championship titles with 2 NCAA tournament berths on the line. And here we go to the 7th inning. First pitch, a fastball strike from Gork. Leading off for Maine is Zach Martin. Martin popped up on the infield twice. He swings and misses the count 0-2. And then struck out, or excuse me, walked in his 3 plate appearances. This is a decent spot for Gork. He's now got the 1-run lead. And he forces Martin to foul one away. Count 1-2.
Well, Maine has scored in every inning after the Wildcats have scored, so if Gork can work around runs here, he'd be the first to keep them scoreless.
Ground ball first base side. That's going to be a 3 unassisted, 1 away. And that's the kind of stuff that, as a pitcher, you can work with, right? Not everything has to be a strikeout or a pop-up. You can induce some soft contact, get easy plays for your defense, and get out innings that way. Now here's Dean O'Neill. First pitch to him from Gork, fastball fouled straight back. O'Neill grounded out of the second, was hit by a pitch and scored in the 4th, and then reached on an error in the 5th. I'm not sure if he gets an RBI for that, because Jenkins did score on that play, and he hits this one high in the air behind second base. Olison moves over, makes the catch 2 away.
And now we're in the ever dangerous spot with 2 outs.
2 outs and nobody on, even more dangerous.
It's been the Achilles heel for both teams tonight.
And he's one of the most dangerous guys on the team, Miles Sargent. Singlin scored in the 3rd, walked in the 4th, and struck out of the 5th. But it seems like he's been a part of most things that the Black Bears have done offensively today. Him and, of course, Jeremiah Jenkins with the 2-run home run back in the 6th. The 0-1, breaking ball misses outside, 1-1. This is the 2nd inning of work for Gork, who has gone 2 innings deep in each of his first 3 appearances. Fastball in there for strike 2. 2 against Stonehill, 2 against Florida, 2 against Northwestern. So and there's movement in the Wildcat bullpen as he skips one to the plate, count 2-2. So we'll see if that trend continues. And I have heard of coaches in these non-conference series just saying, like, go into all their bullpen guys. Like, you're getting 2 innings. It doesn't matter how good you do. And then the next guy's getting his chance because we need to work through all these arms. Fouled away again, and it count holds 2-2.
You see that especially in the midweeks. A lot of times they come in with a play, especially late in the season when they really don't matter. You absolutely see guys come into a plan like that.
Breaking ball, chopped toward 3rd. Cordova moves to his left, fields and fires. Sufrain stretches, picks it out of the dirt, and 1-2-3 go the Black Bears. No runs, no hits, none left, and we go to the bottom of the 7th. Wildcats trying to increase their 6-5 lead right here on the CatEye Network. New pitcher for the Black Bears as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Just the 1 inning of work for Samrocco. He gave up his first run of the season, and now the Wildcats will face the sophomore from Newport, Rhode Island, Luke Lavager. Lavager is a freshman last year, was part of the All-America rookie team, America East rookie team, excuse me. That one chopped foul right at first. This is Jason Hodges. And now we have a pinch hitter, excuse me, for the Wildcats to start this inning. This is Jose Gonzalez. Oh, I'm in the wrong inning. That will be why. Look at the right inning on your scorebook. Jose Gonzalez is at bat. My bad. Fouls one off of his knee. Was in a little bit of discomfort, but he gets back up and ready to face Lavager again. Here's the pitch. Fastball low, and it's 1-1. Gonzalez in the game struck out of the 2nd. RBI single in the 3rd, single and scored in the 5th. So Gonzalez has been a big part of the Wildcats offense today. Here's a pitch. Breaking ball, that's a big curveball, 12-6, swing and miss, and it's 1-2.
Really fooled him there. He'd worked him inside to start the AB, went outside, and Gonzalez was still looking inside and nowhere near that one.
Lavager deals another breaking ball, this one in the dirt. Nice job by O'Neill to corral it behind the plate. Lavager, a product of Rogers High School in Newport, Rhode Island, the righty. And he deals the 2-2, and it's fouled off the catcher's mask and out of play. And the count holds. America East all-rookie team last year had a .924 ERA, 20 strikeouts to his name a season ago. And the pitch from Lavager, bounced to the plate cricket style, 3-2. This season, Lavager a .1350 ERA. He is 0-1 on the record in 4 appearances. This is his 5th. Count runs full to Gonzalez. Pitch inside, ball 4. Almost hit him, would have been ball 4 anyway. And the leadoff man is aboard for the Wildcats for the 2nd straight inning.
The batter is first baseman number 16, Manny Sufrain.
If you're Lavager, not the guy you probably want to see at the plate after the way he hit the ball last time.
Yeah, here's Manny Sufrain, who crushed a home run over the batter's eye in dead center. I'm guessing that went 410-plus feet the last time he was in the batter's box. And he takes a big swing and fouls one straight back.
You know, we said work him away, away, away. Probably best to return that strategy here.
He did the first pitch. But if I'm Sufrain and I know pitchers are going to work me away, I would just work on hitting bloop singles over the third baseman's head. Here's the 0-1. Outside fastball, 1-1.
Also surprised we don't see him crowd the plate a little bit more.
And if he does get that inside corner pitch, we saw what he could do with it last time up. 1-1. In the dirt, 2-1. And Lavager has this weird throwing motion. He almost comes straight over the top. There's no bend in his arm, almost like a catapult. The 2-1. Breaking ball in the dirt, 3-1. And we saw a pitcher like this in the Grambling State game, the 2nd one in the tournament last year. Guy came straight over the top, and he had, again, the problem of finding the strike zone, and a lot of things were over-rotated and in the dirt.
To be fair, everybody had a problem finding the strike zone in that tournament.
That was fair. There's a pitch in the zone, going to 2nd, out. As a caught stealing is out number 1 for Jose Gonzalez. Great throw from O'Neill right on a line to hit Sargent.
The strategy on the base pass for the Wildcats early in the season has been an interesting one because they haven't quite committed to the base stealing thing as much as they did 2 years ago when it was every time somebody was on that was clear, or every few times. It's been a little off and on to start the year.
Sufrain golfs one down the left field line and deep, going back to the track, to the wall. Is it fair? It's foul. Oh my goodness, that was a foot maybe from being another home run for Manny Sufrain.
Coach Hernandez over there in the third base box doing his best to plead the case, but Not really much you can do in both the home plate and the third base official or calling it a foul ball.
And now the count runs full. Nobody on because Gonzalez got caught stealing after reaching on a leadoff walk. Here's the pitch. Ball 4 inside. Much to the chagrin of the Maine coaching staff. So 2 straight walks to start the inning for Lavenger. Unfortunately, the Wildcats not as in good of a position to take advantage of it because of the caught stealing. And here's George Rodriguez. I will not repeat what Brian Harvey just did over the PA system. I'm not sure that was English.
We do the best we can out here.
First pitch, swinging a foul back, hit the umpire's shoe. We hope Manuel Fleitas is okay. He appears to be, and it's 0-1. Sufrain on first after a walk, 1 down in the inning. Wildcats with a 6-5 lead, and that may have caught a little bit of Jorge Rodriguez as well. He is in a little bit of discomfort behind the plate. Now he walks back into the batter's box, swinging a bright red bat. It's a very colorful matchup tonight. The Wildcats in their baby blue alternates with the maroon hats, maroon numbers, white trim. Pitch, big swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Didn't catch up to the fastball inside. Maine in the road grays, the navy caps. Maine on the front in the kind of a Gothic script font, light blue outline for the Black Bears. Pitch hit high in the air on the infield. Drifting foul, third base line, and it's going to drop in foul territory. The wind took it away from Marquez, who couldn't find it.
Yeah, tried his best. Maybe a combination of the trouble seeing it up in the lights and that late gust of wind. Still pretty consistently blowing out to left, but took it just out of his reach.
So Rodriguez's second chance at life. After a drop foul ball here, still in an 0-2 count, 1 out in the 7th. And Lavenger deals, fouled straight back, and Rodriguez survives again. Rodriguez in the game walked and scored in the first, was the opening run of the contest, question of the second. Then flew out to center of the third and singled in the 5th. Of course, that was right after Manny Sufrain hit the big home run. The 0-2. Ground ball, third base side, base hit to left field. Sufrain's gonna go to second. He's not going to go to third as White fires in, but first and second for the Wildcats with 1 away.
And for Rodriguez, that's a really nice piece of hitting for a guy who hasn't quite found his swing to start his Bethune-Cookman career, but that is textbook right through the hole over there at shortstop.
We will have a pinch hitter now for Bethune-Cookman. And here is Jorge Gonzalez Fabo.
Number 29, George Gonzalez Fabo.
Fabo is hitting in the 7 spot for Ramses Cordova, who will be retired to the bench. And so Fabo will likely play third base in the field. Cordova was 1 for 3 with a single and 2 strikeouts in his 3 plate appearances. And now there is a meeting of the minds as Coach Hernandez calls time. He's talking to both of his 2 base runners, Sufrain and Rodriguez, and also Jorge Gonzalez Fabo.
Gonzalez Fabo with the 2 home runs we've seen already tonight is a guy who has to be salivating at the thought of hunting the batting cages over in left field or towards the scoreboard.
Gonzalez Fabo has the 2 home runs on the year, but is batting .158 outside of that. 2 on, 1 out pitch. Breaking ball in on the hands, ball 1. And you can't make much better of an impression than Jorge Gonzalez Fabo did in that first game against Stonehill. Second pitch of his collegiate career. The 2 freshmen hit a home run to left field, but outside of that, he's struggled at the plate. Here's the 1-0. Jammed him on the inside corner, swing and a miss. 1-1, and I think almost that showstopper home run in the first game of the season might have been to his detriment because he's been hunting the fences ever since.
I think he's done a better job few games
There's
since.
a strike down the middle, 1-2.
Something I checked in with Coach Hernandez about a couple days ago and just asked, was there a conversation had about kind of the style? And absolutely, as you would probably expect, that was something he was sat down and kind of, hey, listen, we can't swing for the fences on every single one. You got to take what the defense gives you, and I think he's done a little bit better of a job.
1-2 from Lavenger, chopped towards second base. Sargent flips to second for one. Back to first, there's no play. So a fielder's choice gets Jorge Gonzalez Fabo aboard. Moves Soufrain to third. Rodriguez is out 4-6, trying to go to second. And now with 2 down and runners on the corners, here is Jason Hodges. Now, do we see the Wildcats go back to the double steal here?
It has been a clear strategy early on this season. We've seen it probably upwards of half a dozen times, attempted at least.
Swing and fouled away for Jason Hodges. Hodges, not a regular in the Bethune-Cookman lineup over the last couple of years, but has made an impact tonight. He is 2 for 3 with 2 singles, a run scored, and an RBI. And he's got a chance for another one. Pitch. Big swing and miss at a breaking ball that ended up in the dirt, and the count is 0-2. And Lavenger is 1 strike away from getting out of an inning where he walked 2 batters and gave up a single. The 0-2. Big swing and a miss. Fastball down and away. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left for the Wildcats, and they may rue that one as we go to the 8th. Still 6-5 Bethune-Cookman here on the CatEye Network. Make sure you are representing Bethune-Cookman University Athletics to the fullest. Buy the latest BCU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to bcuathletics.com and click on shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's bcuathletics.com and click on shop. Back at the Jack with Bethune-Cookman leading Maine 6-5. We're in the top of the 8th inning as Gork continues to work on the mound for the Wildcats. He will face Jonathan Gonzalez after he sat the Black Bears down 1-2-3 in the 7th. We appreciate your company here on the CatEye Network today. First 2 pitches have gone low, and it's 2-0 to Gonzalez, who's struck out twice but wedged an RBI single in between those 2. And it's 3-0 as Gork over-rotates on a fastball. 2 Wildcats warming up in the bullpen right now, so I'm sure the hook is going to be pretty quick from Coach Hernandez, as this is Gork's longest involvement of the season. Pitch is a strike down the middle, 3-1.
It was control that haunted Bocabello towards the end of his outing. Hope Gork not the same.
Well, it is started that way. Ball 4, and Gonzalez aboard with a leadoff walk. And that'll bring up Colin Plant. RBI single in the 1st, singled in the 4th, and then struck out in the 6th. His first time up against Gork. And we may be going to the bullpen immediately.
It looks like that's the end for Groark as Dylan Vega's going to trot in from the pen. Interesting decision here.
So I'm guessing the message to Groark was, base runner, you're gone.
Like to figure usually is with guys who get late into an appearance like that. It's interesting to go to Vega with guys on base. And I'm sure we'll talk about it. We'll see what the start to his outing looks like. But he's a guy who has looked really like a different guy in a lot of ways when runners are on base versus when bases are empty. And he struggled a little bit with guys on the paths. We'll see if he is able to put that behind him and work with a guy on first.
This is Dylan Vega, the righty on the mound.
Please, now pitching for the Wildcats, number 35, right-hander Dylan Vega.
Vega has a 7 ERA, is 0-1 in 5 appearances with no starts. In 9 innings pitched, he's given up 9 runs on 12 hits, 7 of them earned. Struck out 3, walked 3, allowed 4 doubles, no triples, 1 homer in 39 at-bats, and opposing hitters are batting .308 against him. Vega, the graduate student from Pembroke Pines, Florida, started his career at USF and State College of Florida. Last year at USF, 9 appearances with a 12.86 ERA. And now here at Bethune-Cookman, trying to lock down the Maine Black Bears and potentially on for a 6-out save here.
He's been, in a lot of ways, the go-to guy. I'm surprised he wasn't the first out of the pen tonight, but I think Groark was the better arm with the better stuff for a bases-loaded scenario than Vega has. But he's in many ways been the guy in the 6th, the 7th. Of course, Pablo Torres anchors that closing role, but in many ways the setup guy has been Vega to start the year.
The batter for Maine is center fielder number 4, Colin Plant.
Here's Colin Plant. 2 singles and a strikeout, as I mentioned, for Plant. 1 on off of the leadoff walk. They go back to first to try and pick off Gonzalez. He slides back in safely.
And immediately we see the attention that Vega pays to runners on base. And it hasn't been the throws over by any means that have done him in, but just the tempo hasn't quite been the same.
Squaring to bunt, putting one down, back to the pitcher. Back to first for the out. Sacrifice bunt sends Jonathan Gonzalez to second. And there's one away. Kind of expected, right? You're the 9-hole hitter.
And I think it's good for Vega, even though that's, sacrifice bunt. That was the plan all along, to see the out go down that way, as we see a pinch runner trot out here to second. But we'll see now with the runner behind him, you're less likely to throw down. Although with the pinch runner, who knows, a steal may very well be in play. See what the tempo looks like.
There's a pinch runner at second.
Please, pinch running at second base for Maine, number 26, Jeff Hadson-Taylor.
Jeff Hadson-Taylor is the pinch runner.
The batter for the Black Bears, left fielder
And
number
Nick
14,
White.
Nick White.
Leadoff man, number 1 in the order, is up. The tying run on second, 1 out here in the top of the 8th. Wildcats with a 6-5 advantage. Vega deals. Misses on the fastball upstairs, 1-0. Vega working quickly. The 1-0 is upstairs and away, 2-0. White
Dips in there. I want to be the guy that ties the game, puts the Black Bears ahead.
going back to his Hadson-Taylor. So 2 straight sacrifices, put a runner on third with 2 down, and here's Jake Marquez.
And we've said it so many times tonight, clutch pitching and clutch hitting for the Wildcats. Well, the hitting has been there, at least to this point. Let's see what the Wildcats bullpen has in returning that favor.
And in a different ballpark, we say this a lot too, Nick White's probably rounding the bases. That was hit deep to center field. Just a few steps before the track is where Rivera caught that. Fouled away at home plate. And that one looks like it caught the home plate umpire in the hand, and he is in a little bit of discomfort. The perils of being a home plate umpire. The athletic trainer is going to come out and attend to Manuel Fleitas. We can tell you more about our crazy weekend that's coming up here on the CatEye Network. Today we're here in Daytona Beach. Tomorrow we have 2 broadcasts coming up for you. Baseball is still here, the middle game against Maine, and that'll be Bryce and Darren Latil talking you through that one on the radio. And then up in Tallahassee, it's the Florida Classic hardwood style as the men's and women's basketball teams finish their regular season in the Al Lawson Center on the campus of Florida A&M. Big game for seeding for the men, and the women, if they win, they are in.
Yeah, so the women, so both, it's going to be an interesting one for the women. If you win, you, in theory, knock Florida A&M out. If there is a chance that Florida A&M can stay in, depending on how the results of the Alcorn game shake out. So FAMU and BCU can both be in, Bethune-Cookman can be in, and FAMU can be out. They cannot both be out. So it'll be a fun last day of the season for.
But either way, you got to win.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Like if you don't win, you're out either way.
It is in your hands, which is all you can ask for. You know, despite everything that's gone on for the whole season, the good and the bad, all you can ask for is a chance to keep playing at the end of the season, and it should be a really exciting one up there in Tallahassee. And
then we will make the long drive back here, and I will be on the call Sunday afternoon at 1 for the finale of this 3-game series. But you will not be here.
No.
You've got better things to do.
Some more pressing matters.
The umpire is okay. Big cut and miss from Marquez. The count is 0-2. The tying runs at 3rd. Here in the 8th. Vega deals, breaking ball, swing and a miss. He got him swinging on a pitch in the dirt. Dylan Vega, ice in his veins, and the Wildcats take a 6-5 lead to the bottom of the 8th. We'll have that one for you next right here on the CatEye Network. So for the 3rd straight inning, the Maine Black Bears send a new pitcher to the mound, just the 1 inning of work for Lavenger. And we get the freshman from Chalfont, Pennsylvania, Owen Wheeler, to the bump to pitch the bottom of the 8th, and hoping that his offense can pick him up and we get to a bottom of the 9th. Wheeler, in 3 appearances, has a .982 ERA. He's given up 4 runs on 3 hits all earned, walked 5, struck out 4. allowed a double, a homer, and his opponents are batting .231 against him. So opponent batting average is pretty good. Walks a lot of guys, so maybe a little bit of a struggle with command. And early in the season, a lot of these numbers don't mean a lot.
I think you're just now starting to get to the point where things become a little more than just an early season trend. You start to kind of see things shake out about the who's who in the lineups, in the rotation as bullpens get finalized.
First pitch high to Colton Olison, who leads it off. Been a tough night at the plate for Olison. Put the ball in play 3 times, grounded out in the second, lined out in the fourth, and then bunted on a sacrifice bunt in the 6th. And that one is low, and it's 2-0. Of course, the Olison bunt did move Hodges over, and he eventually scored on the Villafane single. And he takes a ball upstairs 3-0, and we already see maybe some potential command issues being an issue for Wheeler. Inside ball 4. 4-pitch walk for Olison. He's aboard for the first time tonight. Leadoff man aboard for the Cats.
Like you said, control is an issue for Wheeler, and it can very, very quickly get out of hand. The Wildcats would love to have some insurance here.
Top of the order, Jamie Villafane grounded out twice, struck out, and singled to 6th. Of course, that was an RBI single in the 6th, scoring Jason Hodges. He takes a first pitch low. And we have head coach Nick Durba, who already is going out to talk to Wheeler after only 5 pitches.
Yeah, all of them balls. I think the message is pretty clear here.
And from his stats, we saw the 5 walks to 4 strikeouts in 13 batters faced.
As we see a bunch of arms getting stretched out, one getting ready to throw over there in the Maine bullpen. If nothing else, maybe this is a chance to get things accelerated down there, give the guys a second to get going, prolong the warm-up period for them if things continue to go south. It's a big spot for Bethune-Cookman. Even with the 5 straight balls is one thing, but that doesn't mean you're by any means guaranteed any insurance here. And this is a moment in the game, even with just the 1 runner on and nobody out, that you can look to and say, well, here was your chance. If the game goes the way of the Black Bears tonight, you had your chance in this inning. It was started off well for you, and you had a spot, and you couldn't deliver. But
Nick Durba trots back to the dugout, and he's probably giving as much time for his players in the bullpen to warm up as possible in case Wheeler doesn't pan out in this inning. The leadoff walk to Olison, and Villafane stands in ahead 1-0. He squares to bunt, pulls it back inside 2-0. Nick Durba is in his 6th season at the helm of the Black Bears. Of course, he has guided them. Here's the bunt, and it hit him. Came inside twice to avoid the bunt. Villafane on with a hit by pitch. First 2 on for the Cats in the inning.
I was a little worried there, Villafane continuing to square around the bunt. I wouldn't have been in any hurry to try to put the ball in play with the way that Wheeler has thrown the ball. And same thing goes here for Rivera. I'm keeping that bat on my shoulders until I'm given any reason at all to think otherwise.
Here's Sergio Rivera. He's 1 for 4. His only hit being a single in the 3rd. He came around to score on the Jose Gonzalez RBI. He squares to bunt. The pitch is outside. And Wheeler has not thrown a strike, and this is his 3rd batter faced.
And I am certainly not in any hurry to put the ball in play like that and give up an out.
He squares to bunt again, but I think he's just looking to see if he'll put one across the strike zone, and he does finally after 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 straight balls, and now it's 1-1. The pitch from Wheeler, squaring to bunt again. He taps it foul, and now it's 1-2. And I'm not sure if that would have been a strike or not, but you're kind of gifting Wheeler at that point a lead in the count.
I think Rivera knew it too. You kind of see a little bit of a grimace on his face.
First and second, nobody out. Cats up by 1. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball hammered towards 3rd, could be 2. Stepping on 3rd for 1. Throwing across the diamond. In time double play. Nice play by Marquez at 3rd. So Olison is out 5 unassisted. Rivera is out 5-3. Villafane goes to second, and now just like that, there's 2 outs, and Wheeler may be gifted a way out of this inning.
And I'll tell you right now, that was dangerous territory being a triple play. I think if he went to second, there was a real chance to get the runner at first and get out of this completely unscathed.
Now it's Garrett Chun, watches a first pitch fastball strike outside and up. Chun struck out in the first, singled and scored in the third, struck out in the fifth, and grounded out to the pitcher in the sixth. And the 0-1 is low. Nice snag by O'Neill to prevent that one from going to the backstop, and it is 1-1. If I'm Garrett here, I'm not in a hurry to take the bat off the shoulder unless it is a meatball.
Nope, one batter does nothing to change the start to this outing.
The 1-1. Check swing. Did he go? No, and it's low, 2-1. The entire Maine dugout was up in arms about that one.
And really, it's the breaking ball that's kept Wheeler competitive even so far in these ABs, because that curveball has still been low, but it's at least given Bethune-Cookman something to think about.
2-1. Inside, called strike 2, 2-2.
That ball cut back inside the plate when it looked like it was going to be in on the hands of Chun. That was first really nice pitch we've seen from Wheeler.
Wheeler, a strike away from getting out of the inning. Pitch outside, count runs full, 3-2. Big spot here for the freshman. Can he give the Black Bears a chance in the 9th? Or will the Wildcats add some insurance? Garrett Chun stands in the left-handed batter's box. Here's the pitch. It's in the dirt. Ball 4. And we will see another batter in this inning. The 3rd walk issued by a Wheeler in the frame.
That's such a tough break for him because that pitch wasn't, you ideally want to put Chun in a position where he has to be a very defensive hitter, foul pitches off, but that ball was in the dirt from the second it left his hand.
Now here's Gonzalez, and this is a guy you maybe don't want to see at the plate in this situation. He's 2 for 3 with a walk, an RBI single in the 3rd, singled and scored in the 5th. And he grounds this one towards short, fielded deep in the hole by Gonzalez, flips to second in time. And the Black Bears get out of it. No runs, no hits, 2 left. And the Wildcats don't take advantage of a good spot. They'll have 3 outs to try and win this one in the 9th when we come back. This is Bethune-Cookman University Baseball on the CatEye Network.
I don't see anything.
As we head to the 9th, one defensive change for the Cats. A.J. Smith is in place of Rivera in center field, and Pablo Torres will come in to pitch and look for the save. Look for his 2nd save of the season. In 4 appearances, he's 0-2 with a 11.57 ERA. 4 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 6 runs on 7 hits, 6 earned. Struck out 4, walked 5, given up 1 home run, and opponents are batting .333 against him. And, well, he's got to face his toughest challenge first. Here's Jeremiah Jenkins, who's been on twice, scored 2 runs, and hit a mammoth home run in the 6th inning.
Torres is going to bring the heat with that fastball. He's a guy who works at his best when he's challenging guys, particularly at the high fastball. Hasn't quite found his stride in the closer role for Bethune-Cookman yet, but now's a great time to get back on track.
Jeremiah Jenkins, the junior from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, takes a big hack and misses at a high fastball, and it's 0-1. This would be a good get-back spot for Pablo Torres after a rough weekend against Northwestern. Pitch golfed high in the air to center field, not deep. Actually, it is the shortstop Villafane who makes the catch, and there's one away.
And a good two-pitch sequence there for Pablo Torres. Went so high that it's so tough to get under a pitch that high in the zone, and then takes Jenkins down low, and the only thing he can do there is pop it up.
Here's Connor Goodman, popped up to the catcher twice, singled in the 5th, and then struck out in the 6th. And the pitch. In there for strike one on the inside corner. And if the Wildcats are going to turn to Pablo Torres in these save situations all season long, they're going to need him to be clutch right here. Here's the 0-1 in on the hands. Ball one, went with the fastball in again.
And Torres, just with the mid to high 90s fastball and the stuff that he brings to the table, he really has the closer role in so many ways. That doesn't mean it can't get replaced later.
Breaking ball, first time we've seen Torres throw one of those. It's tapped foul, count 1-2 on Goodman. Goodman, his final year of eligibility, playing in his home state from Miami. The 1-2, ground ball to second base. Olison fields and flips across, and the Wildcats are 1 out away.
Nice job by Torres so far to not, you don't need to go for the strikeout. He's a guy, especially with the stuff that he has, that has a tendency to do that. But he's let his defense work in the big outfield, so much space to work with, and then again on the infield with Colton Olson.
Zach Martin is the potential last chance for the Bears in this one. The lefty faces the pitch from the righty and swings and misses through a fastball down the middle, and it's 0-1. Martin flied out to left in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, walked in the 5th, and grounded out to first in the 7th. Pitch upstairs, and it's 1-1. Torres zips that fastball in there. High 80s, maybe touching the low 90s at times. And the 1-1 goes downstairs this time and misses it low. 2-1. And again, if you're Pablo, don't get too cute with it. Try and dance around it too much. The 2-1. Line drive down the first baseline. That's a base hit. First time on base for Zach Martin in the game. And once again, Bryce, 2 outs. The Wildcats have not been able to get a 3rd out at all in this game, it seems like.
I think with the way this one has gone tonight, there was never a doubt that with 2 outs, we were going to have a little bit of excitement here. But much like a lot of this Wildcats bullpen, you just have to make sure that the runner on base doesn't get too in your head, doesn't force you to change your approach at the plate. But of course, the steal is very much a threat here with the winning run at the plate, tying run at the bases now.
Logan Burrow is on to pinch run at first, and Dean O'Neill with 2 outs bats for the Black Bears. Pitch, fastball strike right at the belt buckle. Burrill at first represents the tying run with 2 outs in the 9th. Wildcats with a 6-5 lead. Pitch from Torres hits O'Neill in the helmet.
That's a scary pitch with how fast that ball comes in.
And there's 2 on now.
We'll have trainers from both sides come in and take a look at him. Man, that's a scary one. Definitely shaken up. I think he'll be all right, but
the Black Bears pile on the pressure. Up next is Miles Sargent. Sargent, a single, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Had an RBI single in the 4th. Struck out in the 3rd and 5th and walked and was stranded on 3rd in the 8th. That was when they had the leadoff walk. Sack bunt, sack fly, and then Jake Marquez struck out, couldn't push him across. Dean O'Neill is still on his knees at home plate after getting hit in the helmet by a Pablo Torres fastball. There is runners on first and second with 2 outs in the 9th, and the Wildcats holding a 6-5 lead. Smattering of applause here at the Jack as O'Neill gets to his feet. We'll see if he gets pinch run 4. There is somebody standing right there, and we will get a pinch runner as O'Neill goes to the dugout. So Burrell, the pinch runner for Martin, is on second. And we're going to have a meeting on the mound as a pinch runner goes to first.
Pinch running at first base now for Maine, number 41, Chase Trolaro. Pinch running.
The pinch runner is Chase Trolaro. Trolaro, a freshman from Oakland, New Jersey. And Burrell, who is pinch running on second, is a senior from Amesbury, Massachusetts.
This is a spot where your closer needs to come through. If this is the guy that you're trusting in these high leverage situations, there's no excuse. Not like he was put in with the bases loaded. This is a clean inning. Just one good pitch away from sending everybody home happy. But it's his game.
Here we go. Tying run on second, go ahead run on first, 2 outs in the 9th. Here is Miles Sargent. Torres winds and fires. Breaking ball misses low and away, ball 1. And it was a long break between the last batter and this batter. Does that factor in to Torres' rhythm as well? The 1-0, outside 2-0. He's over-rotated twice and missed outside and low.
Yeah, after the coming so far inside on the hit batter, it's almost like he's overcompensating at this point. Scared it'll sail in too much again.
The 2-0. In there for a strike at the knees on the inside corner, 2-1.
That's a really
And the Wildcats
tough
are
pitch.
both teams now scrambling players to the bullpen. 2-1. Fastball. Sargent just caught a piece of it and fouls it away. 2-2 Wildcats for the second time in the inning. 1 strike away from closing this one out. 2-on, 2 out. Wildcats with a 6-5 lead in the 9th. Trying to take the opener of this 3-game series. Torres rocks, fires, swing and a miss! Ball game over. This one belongs to the maroon and gold. You talk about clutch pitching, Bryce. How about Dylan Vega and Pablo Torres getting 2 huge strikeouts to end the 8th and the 9th with runners in scoring position?
And that pitch right there is exactly why Pablo Torres has the closer spot. There's not another arm in this BCU bullpen that can match the velocity and match just the fire behind that fastball up in the zone. There's nothing, absolutely nothing you can do about that as a batter. It's in on the hands, it's high and inside. It's still a strike, and you can either swing at it like that one or sit there frozen. There's no guy in this bullpen that can do it like Pablo Torres. A great sign for him to kind of get back on track. Still some stuff you can nitpick at there, getting himself in a little bit of a tough situation, but huge nonetheless.
The Wildcats snap a 5-game losing skid. They take the first game of this series against the UMaine Black Bears 6-5, and they had to sweat for it, but they got it done as the Black Bears had runners on base in all but 3 frames, and yet they only allow 5 runs, and they only allowed more than 1 run in a frame once. The Wildcats did all their offensive work in the middle innings, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and 1 in the 2nd, with the moment of the game, obviously, the massive home run to dead center by Manny Sufrain. That was what really put the Wildcats over the top. It gave them a lead, and they never relinquished it.
And, you know, I mentioned it in the middle innings. I think a win like this is so much more important than any other kind of opening series win could be for the Wildcats, because after the way the last week and a half has gone for the program, with guys left on base, with the lack of kind of coming through in situations like they did tonight on both sides of the ball, to be able to highlight guys who have done that, who have succeeded, you know, with runners in scoring position, late in the game, with a lead, with trailing in the game, in a tie game. Guys have come through, and you finally saw a little bit of kind of the light at the end of the tunnel in what has been a tough stretch. But guys learned a lot through a game like this. It's so much more powerful than, you know, coming out and blowing out a team like Maine. This is the kind of win that sets you up for, this is what it's going to take to win in a tournament game, in a tough SWAC game in a couple of weeks, and all of your difficult contests like that.
We are waiting for Coach Hernandez. He will join us live on the CatEye Network post-game show after he finishes addressing his team. They are in a huddle behind third base. Maine in a huddle behind first base, getting words from their coach and Nick Durba. And if you're Maine, right, this is a team that is 1-8 on the season, and they haven't been close in a lot of their games. Got swept by Winthrop last weekend. I mean, it gave up 10 and 13 to Pittsburgh, 16 to Fordham, 12 to Stetson. 10 and 15 to win. Baseball team get
essentially all night just kind of answered, right? And then we were able to kind of hunker down. You know, guys made quality pitches, and you know we executed when we needed to. But that's a good win for, you know, to start off the series.
Talk about your bullpen, Gork, Vega, and Torres. They did the job when they needed to. Two big strikeouts there at the end to end the 8th and 9th.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the strong suit for us, right? It's about pitching and defense, and, you know, our starters, you know, Tanner, I don't think it was his best outing, but he gave us a chance, right? That's all we can ask for is opportunity for outs, and then when you have guys in the bullpen that are able to lock it down in the championship innings like they did tonight, you know, we'll be more successful.
I mean, offense did enough, right? 6 runs, but you still left 7 guys on base. Is that something you're looking to clean up going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's what's so important about these first 4 weeks, you know, with the schedule that we put together right before we start SWAC conference play. These are areas that we have to get better at, and we will get better at. We continue to work. We continue to punch in the clock, you know, but expecting the guys now to build off of tonight's win to have an opportunity to win the series tomorrow.
Manny Sufrain had the moment of the night, undoubtedly, with that towering shot to center field. That may be the farthest I've ever seen anybody hit a ball out of here. Talk about his growth and development from on the bench last year to coming into the starting lineup late, going into last year's playoffs, to getting the starting role this year.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a guy that's been in the program for 3 years and waited his turn, right? Came in as a freshman, you know, didn't play much. Then last year, you know, when he was given that opportunity, sparingly did okay, and they just kind of ran with it. It seemed late, you know, through our, you know, conference tournament run that we had last year. And this year, you know, he's hitting just under 300, but the most impressive part about him, you know, hitting in the middle of the order is his on-base percentage is way over 500, you know. So if you look at his numbers, he's done a very good job. And again, it's continuing to develop, you know, continue to do what he needs to do and be successful. And, you know, he got a pitch and he hammered it and he hit it, you know, well over 400 feet. But, you know, I'm just, you know, happy for him, you know, just knowing what he's been through the last 3 years, a stable in our program, and now the success, you know, is starting to show up for Manny.
Tomorrow you got a tough pitcher. Jason Krieger will go tomorrow for Maine. He's their best pitcher by average. He's got their only win of the season against Fordham a couple weeks ago. What's the kind of the scouting report for tomorrow's game?
It seems like every weekend we talk, it's about getting to the bullpen as early as we can, and I think, you know, we were able to have, you know, Maine use 3 or 4 arms out of the bullpen today. But, you know, Maine's a good team. You know, that's a team that won their conference. They were in the Miami Regional last year, so, you know, you would want a win like this to carry the momentum as we kind of wrap up non-conference play on the weekends, head into SWAC play. But tomorrow it's going to stay the same. Just, you know, be patient, you know, let the pitcher kind of work himself out of, or don't allow him to work himself out of situations. And when we do have opportunities to score, we definitely have to cash in. Don't need everybody to be a hero. Just do your job and pass it on to the next guy.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck for the rest of the series.
You got it. Hail Wildcats.
Once again, your final score here from Jackie Robinson Ballpark. The Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 6. The Maine Black Bears 5. Pablo Torres comes in, gets the save as the Wildcats take a topsy-turvy contest here. For my analyst, Bryce Winoski, and our entire CatEye Network crew here on the ground at Jackie Robinson Ballpark, thank you very much for listening. We'll be back tomorrow with a double dose of CatEye Network content. We'll see you tomorrow. Hail Wildcats.